Hello listeners. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about testing of programs that contain substantial date and/or time logic. There are operating systems such as Unix, Windows, Linux, ZOS that maintain current date and time as long numbers that constantly run into the future, so to say. All date and time notations are derived from this number: sysdate, current date, timestamp, etc. Subsystems, instances, programs in general, retrieve through the respective commands the current date and time from the operating system. And so do the DBMS, database management systems. They retrieve current time from their operating system, at least at startup. These systems include DB2, Oracle, SQL Server, or SQL servers. Applications or application programs deal with time and date. They compare dates, make decisions, create dates, modify dates, and so on. Some date and time logic may need intensive testing and simulation of future dates. This is an elaborate and expensive task. Changing the operating system's date to a test date in the future affects all the parties because it applies also to all other testers, developers, and applications on that machine or system. Even worse, a reset to the real date is no longer possible because the wrong date has already been applied everywhere. In the database log, for example. There is no way back. At the end of the tests, one has to reinstall the server in order to run it under another date. That's quite a burden. A better alternative would be to simulate a test date only for those testers that test a particular date-time logic, while all other users on that machine or system take no notice of it. That is exactly what so-called date-time modifiers allow you to do. With date and time modifiers, there is some kind of specification list whereby authorized testers can specify a test date differing from the actual date. They can change the date or shift the time to another time zone, or set it back to the real date or the local time. Testers are totally free in testing month-end, year-end, decade-end, whatever, without influencing the system date, hence other users or applications. These time-date modifiers, programs that allow to change current date and time selectively, can be a great relief. Testing date logic with future dates may require to accordingly adapt the dates of the data rows within the test data. Hence, test data provision should include date field modification where required. This means the tool that moves the test data into the test environment should be able to change the date fields. For example, a modification rule that adds 1,095 days to the relevant date fields would shift the data 3 years forward into the future and would combine with an appropriate current date from the modifier and make up a realistic test scenario for the respective time frame. Thus, we test date logic easily without changing the system date or affecting the other users. Thank you.